We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it.
This Turning Point conference, the were in the front, out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs and, the cigar.
I think it's important that every single person that attended that Turning Point, every Republican speak up against these stickers, against the flags that were waved.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit.
But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
Joe Rogan just torched the ladies of The View. And let's be clear, this wasn't some polite jab. This was a full-on verbal scorched earth, and the studio might still be smoldering. What set him off? Oh, just a $100 million bombshell lawsuit from none other than Charlie Kirk. And now the claws are out, the gloves are off, and the drama is downright nuclear. Forget reality TV, this is the real show. Rogan didn't hold back. He tore through the hypocrisy, shredded their smug routines, and left no sanctimonious soundbite untouched. It was raw, it was ruthless, and it was Rogan in his most unfiltered form. And trust, once Joe starts ripping, there's no commercial break, no escape, no mercy. You thought The View could throw shade? Joe just blocked out the sun.
Charlie Kirk's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to
So Charlie Kirk didn't just clap back, he went full courtroom apocalypse and dropped a $100 million legal hammer on The View hosts. That's right, $100 million. Not a headline typo, not monopoly money, cold, hard, lawsuit-level fury. When your name's being dragged on national TV like yesterday's trash, and your bank account's stacked enough to make daytime divas sweat, you don't send a polite cease and desist. You launch a missile. Forget sipping tea, Kirk just poured gasoline on daytime TV and lit the match.
So, I mean, The View has to be, if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hostin's
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb. But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and it's nothing
just
there.
Go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there. Sometimes comics do that.
This lawsuit, it's not some petty meltdown. It's a warning shot laced with a $100 million warhead. Cross me and you pay the price. The View clearly thought they had a free pass to trash Charlie Kirk, throwing out accusations like they were confetti at a scandal parade. You're smeared, you're smeared. Boom, everyone's smeared. But the second Kirk slams the brakes with a lawsuit, the studio turns into a courtroom drama on steroids. Now the game's changed, and Charlie's not playing defense. He's coming for blood.
We begin with a shocking apology just a short time ago from the ladies of The View to Turning Point USA. A war of words broke out after the conservative group was rallying the next generation of voters at its youth summit in Tampa, Florida this weekend. And the liberal panel just couldn't help themselves. The group sent a scathing cease and desist letter after hosts on The View suggested that Turning Point had embraced neo who showed up outside the event.
Meanwhile, the hosts of The View are over there playing innocent, serving up their usual reheated drama like this is just some harmless gossip gone wrong. Spoiler alert? It's not. This isn't a casual mix-up over a spicy tweet. It's a $100 million legal grenade, and it just exploded in their designer laps. Suddenly, their on-air antics don't look so cute, because this This makes Real Housewives catfights look like preschool nap time.
Yeah, did you watch the episode when Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself and Joy Behar starts panicking and going over her notes while Tulsi is refuting everything that she said?
Yeah, I mean, Joy Behar, like, again, these people have dementia. These are people who, like, should not be allowed out of the house. They have a national platform. I mean, it is crazy. They have no idea. These people have never read, like, a book.
And there's versions of it. Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
And then boom, Joe Rogan storms into the chaos like a wrecking ball with a mic. Because who else could flip this circus into a roast session on steroids? The man who made podcasting feel like a verbal UFC match just dropped a freight truck of sarcasm on The View, and it's as vicious as it is hilarious. Rogan tearing into the hosts? Picture a grizzly bear with a podcast roasting a group of chihuahuas playing courtroom cosplay. It's raw, it's ruthless, and it hits like a steel chair in a WWE match. Brutal and unexpectedly addictive. Joe's take? He's the guy who goes from talking DMT with astronauts to eviscerating daytime drama queens without skipping a beat. Watching him dismantle their phony outrage is like watching Gordon Ramsay walk into a high school cafeteria and light up the lunch menu. Savage doesn't even cover it. Why does it land like a punch to the throat? Because Joe Rogan isn't playing their script. The View operates like a soap opera in heels. Loud, dramatic, but allergic to consequences. Rogan walks in, speaks the unspeakable, and dares them to respond. And when they can't, he laughs. Hard. These hosts love to dish it. But the second someone claps back with courtroom firepower, they go whisper mode. The irony? The View thrives on judgment, but suddenly they're allergic to the spotlight when it turns on them. Rogan caught the hypocrisy midair, and he's spinning it into a savage masterclass in reality checking.
Welcome back. You know, in Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me. And it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So,
Charlie Kirk isn't just dropping a lawsuit, he's dropping a message. Smear me on national TV and I'll come back with a $100 million hammer. The View might think they're untouchable, but Kirk just turned their daytime drama into a courtroom showdown. And right when it hits peak chaos, Joe Rogan crashes the party with a roast so sharp it could draw blood. Rogan's takedown? Brutal, hilarious, and dead on. He's not just mocking them, he's exposing the cracks in their so-called moral high ground. This isn't just a clash of personalities. It's a media meltdown where lawsuits are weapons, hypocrisy is on full display, and Rogan's sarcasm is the final blow.
It's a culture shift between right and left authoritarianism, and now people don't recognize that if you just stopped looking at it in terms of red and blue, look at the actions, whether it's war, suppression of free speech, pharmacological interventions that are mandatory, right. whatever it is, that used to all be associated with the authoritative right, the authoritarian right, and now those things are being embraced by the left. And I just think it's just an ideology thing, and I think we get confused and we think we're on the right side, and if it's our side that's saying this, for sure that's the right thing to do, and no one's critically thinking about this.
Joe Rogan is the gateway drug for young men that thought they were Democrats to become MAGA. Joe Rogan is the bridge. And on that bridge, they'll see RFK. They'll see Elon Musk.
The View hosts just walked into a storm they didn't see coming. And now their shout first, duck later playbook is getting shredded by subpoenas and Rogan's savage one-liners. They've built their brand on performative outrage and carefully curated takedowns. But now, the script's flipped. Charlie Kirk's $100 million legal slam wasn't just a flex, it was a warning. And Joe Rogan? He's the wild card nobody invited, but everyone's watching, dropping truth bombs that make the panel's self-righteous soapbox look like a parody sketch. His roast? Devastating. Precise. unfiltered. It's the kind of hit that doesn't just sting, it exposes. Suddenly, the loudest voices on daytime TV are silent, and not because of a commercial break. Because when the lawsuits are real and the mockery hits viral velocity, all that manufactured fury doesn't cut it. Now, the world's watching a train wreck in slow motion, TV's outraged queens on defense, a courtroom brawl looming, and Joe Rogan narrating the chaos like it's the next great American meltdown.
Her disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him. And you have, and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right. Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give them.
I think the problem with that show is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in. You know, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her. And, you know, they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's just, it's a bizarre show.
This lawsuit isn't just background noise for your third cup of coffee. It's a flashing siren in the middle of a media war zone where outrage is currency and lawsuits are the new artillery. The Charlie Kirk versus The View showdown isn't some isolated drama. It's center stage in the never-ending reality show called America, Civil Discourse is Dead. In this climate, lawsuits aren't just legal recourse. They're political grenades. Forget neighborly disputes. Now it's $100 million lawsuits over televised callouts. It's no longer about proving who's right. It's about who can afford to bring the heat. If the cameras don't settle it, the courtroom becomes the next arena, and suddenly the feud goes from segment to subpoena. This isn't justice, it's theater. The courtroom is the new Coliseum, and only those with deep pockets and deeper grudges make it past the opening act. The View's Outrage Act? It's been running for years, but Kirk's legal haymaker just crashed the stage, and Joe Rogan's roast lit up the curtains. This isn't just a clash. It's a case study in media madness, where everyone screams past each other, and the only real winner is the chaos.
Megan, I get it. I also hate Joy Behar, so I don't love you, but I also hate that squawking bird, so I hate the whole thing. And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is The View. You want to talk about that show, if the CIA is engineering, Antifa and fucking the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered The View, because there's nothing worse than The View. In terms of, like, there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double
the
X.
Okay.
Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's rough.
On the flip side, you've got conservative firebrands like Charlie Kirk turning outrage into a full-blown offensive, rallying troops, dropping lawsuits, and turning media skirmishes into battle cries. This isn't just ideological sparring anymore. It's a full-on war for the narrative, and the weapons aren't subtle. They're wrecking balls smashing through the last shards of nuance. This saga, it's part legal thriller, part tabloid fever dream, and part, is this even real sideshow? We've entered the era where the news feels like scripted drama, and the drama pretends it's news, and honestly, most people can't tell the difference. 1 minute, it's a fiery political debate. The next, it's a courtroom bombshell that sounds like it was ripped straight from a Netflix pitch. And here's the real kicker. The audience is stuck trying to decode the madness. Are we supposed to be outraged? Laughing? Buying popcorn? Because what used to be public discourse now plays out like a ratings-driven soap opera, starring lawsuits, sound bites, and savage commentary. This isn't just a one-off media moment. It's the next episode in an endless saga where power, politics, and ego collide under studio lights, and nobody's changing the channel.